We've done it. We have made it through the playoffs and the regular season, and there's one game left. And it's the Super Bowl! Super Bowl XLIX is here in Santa Clara, California, between the number one seed in the NFC, Seattle Seahawks, 14-3, and they are taking on the also 14-3, number 2 seed in the AFC, New England Patriots. Yeah, you guys all prayed for the Chiefs' downfall, and where did it lead you? Right back to the Patriots. Oh, but I'm the one who needs to be careful with what I wish for, right? Anyway, before I get into this, congrats to the final two in my tournament for making it all the way to the Super Bowl. You had a great year. Yeah, just a phenomenal year for both of you. And, made the best tourney member win. But let's get on to this. This is my Super Bowl XLX prediction. And let's talk about both teams first. For the Seattle Seahawks, man, you could really make a case for both these teams here for saying that no one thought that they'd be here, no one thought that they'd be this good, and the Seahawks are a great case of that as well. When the offseason began, it looked like they were going to be hitting factory reset and they'd be doing a full-fledged rebuild, or they'd at least be starting it. And all they really did was just bring in Sam Darnold at quarterback, and they went from like a rebuild to like a retooling stint. And that's where the Seahawks have gotten where they are now. Mike McDonald has done a fantastic job with that defense up there in Seattle, and it has led the Seahawks to being a top 3 defense in the league all season. And what makes this so significant is that this game is in Santa Clara, where in Week 18, the Seahawks pummeled the 49ers in Santa Clara, did not allow a touchdown in that game to clinch the NFC West and the number 1 seed. And then a couple weeks later, the Seahawks trounced the 49ers in the divisional 41-6. And now, here we are, 3 weeks later, the Seahawks are in Santa Clara, and they are looking to clinch a Lombardi title on the 49ers field. 49ers fans, I don't blame you one bit for pulling for the Patriots here. To watch one of your biggest rivals, possibly your biggest rival right now, clinch a Lombardi on your turf, I can't imagine how that feels. But, yeah, the Seahawks, throughout these playoffs, they have went up against some of the greatest offenses in the league. Those 49ers that I just talked about, they were a top 10 offense in every major category. And in the NFC Championship, the Rams were the number 1 scoring offense and the number 1 passing offense as well. And they did not allow a touchdown against the 49ers in Week 18 and the divisional. All they allowed were 4 field goals. That is how dominant this Seattle defense has been. And then against the Rams, credit to the Rams. They had a pretty nice game against the Seahawks. Matthew Stafford played a really good game, and the offense, gave the Seahawks problems at times. But that just leads me to tell you about the other aspect of the Seahawks, other than that defense they got. It's the offense. Clint Kubiak, mastermind with that offense. It is destructive. It is elite. And Seattle, they got to do everything they possibly can to keep Clint Kubiak here. There are a lot of teams that are going to try and poach him up, man. You look at the Seahawks, Sam Darnold. Is he the guy that's going to go out there and throw 300 to 350 pass yards, 4 touchdowns every single game? No, he's not. because he really hasn't had to do a lot in the playoffs, especially the divisional, because literally right from the opening kickoff of that game, the Seahawks dominated. Sam Darnold didn't have to do anything in that divisional, but in the NFC Championship game, he had to answer the call, and he had to lead the Seahawks to a win over the Rams, and he answered the call real well, and he had not only his best playoff game of his career, bar none, but he had possibly the best game of his career as well. And, that's just the thing with Clint Kubiak. He's worked real well with Sam Darnold, and he has really made Sam Darnold blossom into the talented quarterback that I think everyone knew that he was capable of, because he just got dealt a real bad hand to start his career. You take a look at Seattle in the backfield, Charbonnet and Walker. I know Charbonnet did not play against the Rams, but Charbonnet is still vital for that Seattle run game there, and having that strong 1-2 punch right there in the backfield is huge for Seattle. They have cracked 100 rush yards on the ground so frequently this season, and that's just, another thing right there. In this grudge match, man, because you remember 11 years ago, these two met in Super Bowl 49, one of the most agonizing ways to lose a Super Bowl of all time. Seattle got cute at the goal line when they had the best rush offense in the league, and now they have another elite rush offense here. So definitely use your running backs right there. Sam Darnold does not take a whole lot of sacks, and he's going up against a real good pass rush in New England. Offensively for the Seahawks, 427 pass yards, 250 rush yards, and they are averaging 36 points a game throughout the playoffs. Just what an offensive showing it's been for Seattle. Defensively as well, we know what they're capable of. They have only allowed 493 pass yards, 223 rush yards, and they've allowed the third fewest points in the playoffs. And with the way the Patriots have been playing offensively throughout the playoffs, I think that's a good, favorable matchup right there for Seattle. But the bread and butter of that defense right there is easily their pass rush. Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, the veteran DeMarcus Lawrence, and Derek Hall all getting in on the action for the Seahawks. They had 47 sacks on the season, which led the NFL. And then, of course, also on offense, JSN, borderline unguardable. Cooper Kupp, the veteran at receiver as well. And I think the one thing that nobody really talks about with the Seahawks, and they really should, is their special teams. More specifically, Raheed Shaheed. How about averaging 49 yards per return this year? Or at least throughout the playoffs. And especially in that divisional. Took the opening kickoff 95 yards for a score. That just shows you how balanced this Seahawks team is. They can beat you in so many ways. They can dominate you in so many ways. And if you don't come in 100% prepared for them, they're going to beat you up, and they're going to give you a beating that you'll never forget. So yeah, that's the story with the Seahawks. Fourth time they've been the number one seed in the NFC. And every other time they've been the number one seed in the NFC, they have at least gone to the Super Bowl. 2005, number one seed, lost Super Bowl 40. 2013, that legendary Legion of Boom defense they had there. 13-3, number one seed in the NFC, crushed the Broncos in Super Bowl 48. And, of course, the last time the Seahawks were here, 2014, number one seed in the NFC as the defending champs, as I said a bit ago. Lost to these very New England Patriots in one of the most agonizing ways imaginable, where all they had to do was run the ball at the 1-yard line with Marshawn Lynch, but Pete Carroll decided to get cute at the 1-yard line and pass when Malcolm Butler had been practicing such plays before the game. And Seattle blew a 10-point lead as well. I don't think Seattle's going to blow a 10-point lead with this team right here, especially with the way the Patriots have been playing offensively throughout the playoffs, and with just, I think, how much better and healthier this Seahawks team is than that 2014 team is. what a season it's been for Seattle. But then, of course, you got their opponents, the New England Patriots. Like I said, you guys wanted the Chiefs to fall flat on their faces. You didn't want Kansas City in the Super Bowl, right? Well, guess what? The Patriots are back in it for the 12th time. Life is so unfair, isn't it? But New England, throughout the playoffs, they've been kind of the opposite of Seattle. Whereas the Seahawks have gone up against great offenses, New England's gone up against some great defenses as well. A very good defensive Chargers team, the number 1 defense in Houston, and then the number 2 defense in Denver in the AFC Championship game. And the Patriots were second in points scored defensively this year. They were 4th in pass defense, and they allowed the 6th fewest rushing yards. So definitely Sam Darnold is going to have his hands full for this game. Seattle's run game is going to be really tested here by that New England defense right there. They have allowed 415 pass yards, only 8.7 points per game they've allowed throughout the playoffs. They've allowed only 19 net points throughout the playoffs. 71.3 rush yards, and much like the Seahawks, the one common denominator that these two both have is the pass rush. New England's pass rush is elite as well. They led the league in pressures with 72. Now, Sam Darnold, like I said a bit ago, he doesn't take a lot of sacks, but he's going up against this New England onslaught that's going to make him feel the heat all night long in this game here. Led by Christian Barmore, Harold Landry III, Chris Tonga. Those guys can definitely bring the heat on Sam Darnold there. And that's going to be the biggest X factor here. You guys want defense. You guys want to see that defense is still important for today's NFL, despite it being an offense league. Look at this matchup right here. Now, offensively for New England, I mean, we can sit down here and we can say, well, it's just Drake May's first time being in the playoffs. Drake May, he's on the big stage. He doesn't know how to handle that pressure just yet. But Drake May has played worse as the playoffs have gone by. And yeah, he can run when he needs to. But I'm just telling you right now, man, he really needs to step up here on the biggest stage in front of the whole country watching. And he is just going to have a real big challenge with that Seattle pass rush right there that led the league in sacks. So Drake May needs to come through here. And he needs to show that he is the franchise guy and win this game and not rely on the defense that New England has. In the backfield, Ramondre Stevenson, he's been a little, let's say, mercurial this season. But Trayvon Henderson has been the better of the two backups there. So if you want to say a 1-2 punch for the Patriots in the backfield, be my guest. But I personally think Trayvon Henderson is the better matchup, is the better guy. Whereas Seattle, it's like pick your poison with Charbonnet and Walker. Weaponry for the Patriots, not really much to brag about. Mac Hollins and Booty. And okay, Stephon Diggs is a nice veteran as well. But like, you look at the weaponry that Drake May has to work with, it's not really eye-popping or anything. Both these O-lines are going to be really battle-tested here. But, the narrative with the Patriots is that, well, they had an easy schedule all year. They had a cupcake walk to the playoffs. They had a cupcake walk through the playoffs. And, I do agree that their schedule was really soft and that the Patriots had the benefit of playing weak teams. But, I mean, if they're able to win 3 games and get to the Super Bowl, then they do belong here. Because, they can only play who's on the schedule, and they had to face 3 really good teams in the playoffs, including the Denver Broncos, who were the number 1 seed in Denver. And sure, the Broncos were starting Jarrett Stidham in that game because Bo Nix busted his leg before in the playoff win against the Bills. But I think Denver shot themselves in the foot in that game as well, okay? Because it's 7-0 Broncos, and this is not something that just looks bad in hindsight, okay? I sat down in my living room, and when I saw this happen, I was immediately yelling for Sean Payton to just kick the field goal on that 4th down and go up 10-0, okay? I'm not just saying that out of hindsight. My first instinct on that 4th down was, Sean, you got to take the points. You have a backup quarterback in there. You're going up against a great defense right there in the Patriots. You can't give them any chances no matter how far back you pin them. You got to take the points. Denver got cute, went for it on 4th down, and they failed. Okay? So that's the thing right there. I think Denver really shot themselves in the foot right there. And really after that, they just had no other response on offense. Whereas the Seahawks, I don't think they're going to get cute in this game. I think they are going to take advantage of every opportunity they have to extend the lead or put the game out of reach. Okay? Because like I keep saying, if the Patriots offense just can't find a way to get things going, whether it's against the Chargers, where Drake May has been sacked 3+ times in all 3 playoff games, and I can't stress it enough, he's going up against that he's going against that pass rush the Seahawks got there. Offense needs to wake the hell up. Plain and simple. Okay? Had a rough game against the Chargers. Had an even worse game against the Texans. It was turnover palooza in that game. And then he did not play well at all against the Broncos. Just did not. Very Big Ben and Super Bowl 40-esque, if you know what I mean. But yeah, those are your 2 contestants. And now for my keys to victory for both teams and my prediction. Well, for the Patriots, I just outlined it there. Offense needs to get stuff going. And aside from that, they need to make Sam Darnold be the one to win this game for the Seahawks. Like I said, Sam Darnold, he is not the type of guy that's going to put up eye-popping type numbers, but he's not going to be bad enough to lose the game either. But I feel like if you make Darnold be the guy to beat you, your chances of beating the Seahawks and beating their offense is going to increase. If that defense can eliminate Charbonnet and Walker from the game, I like New England's chances defensively and them limiting the Seahawks there. So that's my key to victory personally for the Patriots, is make Sam Darnold beat you and eliminate that run game. For Seattle, it's just more of the same. Keep doing what brought you here. You know, that defense has been dominant all season. And you're going up against Drake May, who is playing in the Super Bowl on the grand stage. Make him feel the pressure. Do not let your foot off the gas pedal there, and don't give him any sort of confidence. Don't give him any kind of chances. Don't give the Patriots any kind of chances. Offense needs to tire out that defense, long, lengthy drives. Special teams needs to keep doing what they're doing, and the Seahawks are going to walk away with that second Lombardi title. So those are my keys to victory for both teams right there. With all that being said, my prediction, honestly, I don't think this is going to be as much of a blowout as people are saying it's going to be, because I think both teams definitely, I mean, you could really make a case for either team here. You really can. Okay? So I really don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be kind of like Super Bowl 30 a bit, where it's going to be close. Seattle might, one team might win by like 7 to 10 points, but it's going to be a lot closer than what people remember, kind of like I said, like Super Bowl 30. So at the end of the day, though, I'm going with the team that I trust more offensively. I think it's going to be a great battle-tested defensive game, but it comes down to which offense is going to come up with that big drive and make those big plays. And if you ask me, it's the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks in this matchup, man. I think they're the more balanced team. I think they're the better team coming to this one. And I just think that with the mass amounts of luck that the Patriots have had throughout the playoffs, and them going up against a team that is just hungry, playing with a chip on their shoulder, remembering the last time they went up against these guys in the Super Bowl, they're going to come in and they're going to be like, you know what? We gave you that Super Bowl and we want it back, and we're going to take no prisoners in this game. Not saying the Patriots aren't going to be motivated. I mean, why not? They made it all the way to the Super Bowl. But I think Seattle's going to be a little more motivated. So I'm going to take Seattle to win this game. I think this is probably like in the neighborhood of like maybe 24-17, you know. I don't see a ton of points being put on the board, but I'm going to take the Seahawks to win this game. As for my MVP, I'm going to go with JSN. I think he is just the absolute catalyst of that Seahawks offense there. He led the league in receiving this year. Guy, you got to put like several bodies up on that guy. The Seahawks made the right call with dumping DK Metcalf over to the Steelers and making JSN their number one, and he has really lived up to it well. Cooper Kupp is a great veteran as well. He's a former Super Bowl MVP as well. But I just think JSN is just going to be the biggest difference maker and the biggest playmaker on that field there. I don't know if the Patriots are going to be able to lock him down. So, yeah, I'm going to take Seattle. JSN is my MVP. Seattle wins their second Lombardi. And 49er fans, like I said, I'm sorry. It's just that the Seahawks, they have a massive advantage here. They play in San Francisco once a year. Patriots don't play in San Francisco very often. I just think that's a big advantage for the Seahawks right there. They clinched the West on your turf. They clinched the 1 seed on your turf. And now they want to clinch a Lombardi on your turf. So yeah, sorry Niners fans. I'm taking the Seahawks. And that'll do it. That's my Super Bowl 60 prediction. Another year of Pick'em in the books. Did all but 1 week. Only week I missed was week 3, and that was because I was on my honeymoon. But another great year, and I can't wait for 2026. So yeah, you know the drill, guys. And I will see ya next year.